We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. 'Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe.
Right, you are watching the Coffee Shop Conversation Show. I am Nestene.
And I'm Peter.
And we are the co-founders of Explore ProTech Entrepreneurial Haven. We're building an entrepreneurial haven that is uniting the world's 500 most fun, authentic, caring entrepreneurs. And we're seeing how far we can take each other towards the Forbes 500 list. Welcome! Every week, once a week, we create this beautiful, amazing, incredible space where entrepreneurs from around the world get together. We get to connect with each other. We get to discuss entrepreneurial stuff. And we just create like that safe space where it's like you're going into a coffee shop together with your very best friends in the entire world. And they all just happen to be entrepreneurs.
So if you're an entrepreneur that's out there, if you can relate to anything that we're talking about, or if what we're talking about is something that you're battling with, or it's something that you're currently busy with, the great thing is that we've pulled all these people together. So as we go through this, if somebody spikes your interest, then, well, the information will be down below. Just click on their link. And it's as simple as going, hey, I saw you on the show. You want to grab a virtual cup of coffee? It's really simple.
These are our best friends. We have vetted every single person that is here today personally, and they are absolutely amazing. So you're welcome. All their contact details will be in the description down below. Awesome. So, ladies and gents, there are some amazing things happening in the Explore ProTech space. Oh my goodness. Hence why Peter is looking a little bit exhausted.
Deep breaths.
There's some incredible things happening. We're currently working with so many different educational service providers. We're bringing in different cohorts of students from different spaces. We can't reveal too much about the next project that we're getting involved in, but we can tell you it's going to be absolutely incredible. So do watch this space, and we can't wait to tell you more. So, but on that note, let's get to the topic of today. So today's topic is about leveraging technology and automation for business growth. And this is really where we would love everyone that's on the Zoom call with us to put up their hands and get involved in the conversation. This is also where, if you're watching online right now and you have any questions or comments or insights that you want to share, please get involved in the chat. Share with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I think just from an entrepreneur's perspective, I mean, like, some of us, we step into this battle on our own. Okay, so in this space, we are creating a space where we don't have to be entrepreneurs on our own, where we can create an entrepreneurial family that surrounds us, and we can rely on each other's skill sets and services. But I also happen to know that as a startup entrepreneur, often you start up on your own, and there are things that happen in the background that if you don't know how to automate, or you don't know what tech can actually help you, even as simple as the technology that's used to live stream and to stream to multiple platforms. Tech like that gives you the ability to be in multiple places at one time, where if you don't know about it, or don't know how to function it or work it or use it, well then you're at a loss.
Mhm. So I'm super keen to hear from you guys what tech you're using to leverage your growth and to power your firms. I'll share with you guys right up front some of our tech tools, and feel free to get involved in the conversation. If you'd like to get involved in the conversation and you're on the Zoom call, just put up your hand emoji like so, and me and Peter will bring you into the conversation. Do that at any point in time. But I'll tell you a bit about our tech stack. So we use, first of all, a social media scheduler. I know Sondra is also very much on that boat because we do have 5 different channels. We're focusing on growing 2 of them. But it's good to have the others kind of as backup. So we're not focusing on growing them, but we are using them as backup. So what's nice for us is to use the social media scheduler, and then we just pop the content on there and it posts everything to you the same to all the channels. And that saves quite a bit of time.
A lot of time, actually.
It also allows us to schedule. I can't speak today. It's because I've been chasing zebra.
We've been chasing zebras. And that is not a joke.
Guys, we're traveling right now and we're on a game farm and we've been chasing a dog through a zebra bush. It's like, well, after the show, if you want to hear the story, we'll chat. But so you can also schedule your social posts up front, which is fantastic. So you can do like the whole year's work in one weekend, which I love. So we use that. The next thing that we use is ChatGPT. Literally, since it came out, like if they shut it down today, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Like I cannot work without it. I can't exist without it. It's so bad. I use it for everything. I use it to draft my emails. So what I do, okay, here's my big secret. This literally saves so much time. I open one of those speech to text websites, right? And then, thank you, Parmelia, you're amazing. What social media calendar do you use? So we use Zoho Social. Currently, we're using Zoho Social, and they have like a 3-month free trial. And even after that, they allow you to review them, and then you get like another 3 months. So thank you so much for asking that.
And thank you, Zoho.
And Sondra uses Recurpost. Oh, that's it. Awesome. That's really cool. I haven't heard of that one. So there's a couple of them. Zoho Social. I'm posting the spelling for you onto the YouTube channel Parmelia. So you will see it on the live chat. So ChatGPT, the thing that saves so much time, I literally open on my tablet or on my computer one of those speech to text websites. And I literally talk to it like it's my virtual assistant. So I will be telling it, hey, can you please draft this email for that client? Remember, he wanted this. This is what we spoke about. And remember to include this in there. Like I literally talk to it like it's an assistant. Then I literally just copy that from the text to speech, from the speech to text website, copy it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT spits out whatever I want. It is amazing. You guys have to try it. Like even if it's just for like the little power boost that you get when you're like, oh, I have an assistant now. This is awesome. So I do that. I get ChatGPT to even help me with writing some of my course material. I don't let it write my courses for me. I review it very strictly because, to be honest, it doesn't know everything. Like I've tasted it. But what is great with ChatGPT, if you're working with it, is you need to go back to it. So if you give it an instruction the first time and it spits out something that you don't want, or you would have tweaked it slightly, the trick is again to treat it exactly like it's a little personal virtual assistant. So I will literally go back to my text app, or if I'm on my tablet, Google Voice picks up on my tablet on the ChatGPT app anyway. So then I don't work with the 2 applications. I just work with the 2 applications if I'm using a Chrome browser on my laptop. So then you go back to it and you will literally tell it, thank you for writing the email. I would want you to include this. Can you make it more professional? Take out any references to this and change that. And it redoes it. And the thing is, it learns. It learns what you want. So then what I do is on the left side of my chat GPT, I have open these little chats that are for different little things. So I have a one labeled coffee shop show. I have one labeled social media posts. I have one labeled global online speed networking. And whenever I wanted to do another thing, like we discussed before, and I already spent the time teaching it how to do it the way I want, I can just open up that chat again. And then I tell it, okay, write me another social media post like this, except now we're in the next month. So, change it slightly like this, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Which means she doesn't need me anymore.
You never used to write my social media posts, Peter.
I know.
It's just not how it works. So ChatGPT, together with one of these speech to text websites, I think one of them is actually called speech2text.com, I'm not sure. Absolutely great time saver. I'm so glad someone else came in here as well, because we use so much tech. I will literally talk for the full hour if you guys let me.
Oh, yes.
But Lesetja, you have your hand up, so please come into the conversation. You need to unmute yourself.
Unmute first, ne? Awesome.
Unless you want us to play charades.
No. Okay. Nestene, you are so far ahead. You've lost me. And if I was I would definitely make you a chat GPT or whatever you call it. What do you call it? Representative, because you've sold it to me. Ne? But anyway, I just want to, for those of us that were born before technology, which is many moments ago, the question is now, who in this day and age is not using technology, whether at home, at work, or in business? I remember a few weeks ago, we had a chat about unique value proposition, and we touched on a few items about technology. I think I mentioned that we keep on evolving. So what I want to bring into this conversation is, let us first accept that we have to evolve with technology, with AI. Is it what you call it, Peter? AI. And we know that COVID has brought all this new wave of innovation that made a whole lot of things possible. I mean, we now, from a radio station point of view, can broadcast from home. We don't have to run into the studio. You can broadcast from actually wherever you are. You just need probably a computer, internet, microphone, and your headphones. You far away, you can broadcast. So I think that just tells us, if you don't accept and evolve with technology, you're going to be chasing zebras in the bush and not catching up with us. And I mean, we can look at a few different examples. Let's look at banking, for instance. You can do transactions from anywhere, even on your mobile, where we used to go into the bank, open, they would give you a book where they would physically, with a pen, write the amount of money that you're putting in, and you take the book home. So now you can check how much you have in 2 seconds from your bank account. Communication, we are now chatting instead of the old way of dialing and then saying, operator, please connect me with, and then you wait for 10 minutes for the operator to connect you, and if they didn't like you, they listen to your conversation. Okay, it's still happening now, but to a lesser extent. So phones have also evolved from those dialing ones to the button to the touch screen and all that. So it is now all evolving, and we are using it. Let me bring another example. Traveling. We travel at a faster pace now. Instead of horses and cats and zebras and dogs, we're now even moving into an era of electric cars where we will not be using petrol. So things are evolving, things are developing. So we just need to evolve with them. Another example, Joanne Moorhouse. I mean, she takes pictures from her home in the UK.
Beautiful.
And with a few clicks, she takes pictures all over the world. How awesome is that? You know,
Yeah.
you've spoken about ChatGPT. Our very own Scott with my most trusted. It's not an app. It's an add-on onto LinkedIn. I mean, those are things that we are using. I'm using those to connect people with people. Haven't I connected you with somebody that you're going to see tomorrow? You know, so those are things that we need to use. Let's look at another example, and hopefully the last one. Virtual assistants. Let's look at Janine and Somerville. They do your work from your office, from wherever they are. They don't need to be driving with stacks and stacks of papers in their boot and all that to bring in paperwork, to come and fetch paperwork from you. So that has now brought in a new wave of speed, a new wave of solving problems quicker, and a new wave of making things easy for us. So we just need to develop. We just need to use the items in technology or in AI that we have these days. So it's absolutely amazing what we can do. So AI is here to improve our lives. Let's just use it. Thank you. This is Lesetja Mokou, and I'm your business development agent.
Thank you so much, Lesetja.
You know what really works for me is the fact that in a community of entrepreneurs, if we're all testing different things and using different things in different ways, as we relate with each other, as we talk to each other, and as we build and as we grow, one can say, oh, you're having that problem, I'm using this, and this is how I use it to solve this problem. And somebody else can go, well, actually, I'm using that, and I'm using that in that way to solve this problem. And the more we do that, the more we learn, the more we grow. The easier things should become when you function tech in a communal space, because then we're all learning and all growing. So I think there's a beauty to it in a community.
Please, can I also ask our members, everyone that's online right now, just check the WhatsApp group, the coffee shop WhatsApp group. I popped the link to the live YouTube chat in here. I think it will be absolutely amazing if you could pop the tech tools, the names of the tech tools that you use into the chat for us. Like, I, for one, would absolutely love to go and look at what tools you guys are using, because it's very possible that I might be able to learn from you and use something that's really working for you. Krista, yes.
I just wanted to know, with the tech tools, with the YouTube chat, my understanding is that the YouTube chat goes away at the end. Is that correct, or is that not right?
So we set it so that it actually replays with our videos. It's a setting that you can set on the actual YouTube video.
It replays with the videos, but it doesn't go into so can you tell me the difference between the YouTube chat and the comments?
Yeah, so the comments would literally stick on the video. You'd be able to scroll through them at any point in time. The live chat, as you watch the video, it actually plays through.
Oh, that's why I can't access it. Okay, mystery solved.
Love it.
If you
Tech
want,
and community.
If you want, you can just pop your tools into the Zoom chat as well. Like, I can copy it over and paste it to the YouTube chat.
But I also mean that if they're putting links and whatnot into the YouTube chat as opposed to the comments, then I can't click on them. I don't know if you can. but I know I can't.
No, we would prefer that to be put into the chat, which means that we have to have people following in the live chat.
Yeah, I don't think if you put links in here, you can actually click on it. I think I remember something like that. I'll test it for you, Krista.
Oh, we're
Thank you.
testing
Yeah,
tech.
I just wanted to, yeah, because I was confused. I'm like, oh, but yeah, I like with the discussion about ChatGPT, and I'm a writer. So because I'm primarily ghostwriting and blogging for clients, doing their bios, I like to just pop things into ChatGPT. I kind of use it as a brainstorming partner when I can't have a real person to bounce ideas off of or get ideas from. What I've noticed, though, is that ChatGPT often gives me essay style. And sometimes I'm looking for more of a little bit more of a back and forth where I get one question at a time or one statement at a time. Has anybody figured out how to get ChatGPT? Because I've tried asking it to make its replies shorter or things like that, but does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I think it's just about, yes, Mr.
Yes.
Levy.
This is like the ninth wonder of the world, me giving you this answer. But what I did learn through Nestene about ChatGPT is just speak to it like it's your VA. So I tried that the other night and I said, it wrote something, Krista, that was too long. And I said to it, please make it, I actually said, please make it 95 words. And it did.
Oh, give it word count. I'll try that. Because I've tried other approaches, but I never gave it a word count.
Yeah. Or make it like one sentence, or
yeah,
you can ask it. You can ask to make 3 sentences out of what you've just written. And it actually does it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't even mean what it's just written. I wanted to modify its future question. So like its future answers, keep all of your answers, your responses to, I don't know, 4 sentences or less.
Okay.
I wonder
So
if I could
that's
try.
where,
I think it picks up your style, doesn't it,
Mm.
Nestene?
yeah, so that's where if you open the little chat and you save the chat with a certain name, and then in that chat you then teach it. I would even like lecture it. So
Yeah.
I literally write in there, I'm like, entrepreneurs don't have time to read an email that is this long. You need to make the story shorter. And then it's so cool. It actually then brings that into the script.
If
That's
you keep
clever.
starting a new chat for the same topic or in the same space, it's going to start from scratch. So, but
Right.
if you are saving that chat and you're permanently communicating in that space, it's going to remember all the things that you've done previously. So as you teach it in that chat and as you shorten its answers and it will learn within that chat. So you just keep that chat saved. So Nestene has different topics and each topic is a separate chat and it's learned differently in each chat. So
And then
very
sometimes
clever.
it will go completely haywire and do something completely different to whatever it's done before, and it'll have no clue what it's just done, and then you've just got to retrain it.
Very true.
Thank you, Hendrik.
I think
Perfect.
let's bring in Jessie.
Wait, first Krista needs to say her name.
Sorry.
No one knows who Krista is.
Okay.
Krista.
Yeah, so I mentioned already that I'm a writer. I'm Krista Giannak, Wise Words That Matter, living on Long Island, New York, and happy Explore ProTech member.
Oh, thank you, Krista. I'm so happy. You guys are getting so stoked about this topic. This is awesome. JC, let's bring you into the chat. I think we picked the exact time where JC actually took his earphones off.
No, he's in. Oh, you just need to unmute.
Does he know we're all looking at him?
Yes. Oh,
I don't think so.
no.
Okay, let's bring in Sondra.
Well, Jesse gets himself all sorted.
Tech is great until tech does not work. That is my saying. It's amazing until it doesn't work. Last week was a challenge for tech and me, and so I get Jesse. I feel Jesse. A couple of tips I want to say is one, always triple check your automations when you're using systems. I literally Google has free accounts. So I have a Google account that literally is just for testing systems and automations, because then it's not all in my main business account. So that way I can test a gazillion times if I need to test something to get it the right way. So that's definitely one tip. Two is I have seen many people buy all the new fancy systems and don't have a clue what they do or why they actually need it. So if it does not fit into your standard operating procedures, don't get it just because Nestene said ChatGPT is amazing, yada, yada, which it is. I'm not saying that, and I do use it sparingly, but I've known people to pay hundreds to thousands of dollars for systems. And I'm like, okay, so what do you use it for? I use it to keep my notes in. What's wrong with Google Drive? Like, seriously, like, why are you paying for? Somebody the other day said, I'm using Typeform. I'm like, you have Google, why can't you use Google Forms? Oh, I wanted a QRC code. I asked Google, can I create a QRC code for a Google form? Yes, it's free. Why are we paying for Typeforms? No offense to Typeforms, nothing against Typeforms. But why, as a small business, are you paying for something that either you don't use or you could get for free? And so, yeah, I've literally, when I've done a virtual assistant and coaching, I'm like, why do you have these? Do they talk to each other? Can they talk to each other? If not, can you use Zapier or something in between to get them to talk to each other? Like, how can we make this, again, test, review at least quarterly what you have, what you don't have. I had somebody that did not know, because her business partner set things up for her, how many systems she had. When I wrote them out, it was like 15 systems, and she didn't even realize she was paying for half of them. So write them out. And even though I was her VA for almost 6 months, she came back to me and said, hey, did we have blah, blah, blah account? And I'm like, I never even knew you had that account. Sure enough, she was paying for an account. It was up for a yearly review or renewal. And I was like, she never knew, I never knew as her assistant. So it was crazy. But yeah, keep a master list of systems, because it's easy to sign up for those little trials and forget and blah, blah, blah. And then you're paying for them. Guilty. Just shelled out some money 2 months ago, and I was like, what? Forgot to cancel the trial. And like I said, quarterly reviews are great to make sure that you remember things are connected and how they're connected, and things change. Some systems go out of business or get bought by somebody else. My virtual address just got bought out by another company, so I have to go look for a new one. So yeah, things get moved around. So I guess those are my tips and tricks about systems and automations and things. They're amazing, but human error, system error, things happen. So got to be on your toes and make sure you're checking things and thinking, oh, I automated it and forgot about it. That's just not such a thing. You have to check on it. I've put links in wrong in posts, or I have a client that's on vacation right now, and his podcast didn't upload last week. Guess what? His podcast is on his desktop in his home. I cannot do anything for him until he gets back from his vacation. So I was like, we learn lessons. You apply them. Thankfully, it did upload to YouTube, so it's on YouTube, and we pivoted. We made it work. But yeah, just some tips and tricks I've learned along the way as a coach and as being people's virtual assistant. So I'm Sondra Ray. I'm your Get It Done coach from Michigan.
Well, here's a shortcut. Just get a Sondra.
Thank you so much, Sondra. That is so valuable. Literally, there are so many different pieces of tech out there that you can get for free as well, right? And then usually they have the exact same system, and they will advertise it to you at a fortune. And people just forget and they sign up for it, like you said. So I think that's very, very valuable. I think that's also why it's so cool. Like, I am literally so happy right now with everyone sharing their tools that they actually use, the tech that they use in the chat, because I'm going to investigate every single one of them. And if one of yours is cheaper or better than mine, then that's what we should be doing with for each other.
Yeah, and with that, ask people if they have affiliate codes. Let's help each other out. I've made a stream of income out of affiliates. So all those little $20 you get from each person signing up, get people's affiliate codes. I always ask somebody if they have an affiliate code for the system they're recommending to me. That's always a good thing to do to help each other out and get paid. So we all make money.
That's brilliant. I love that, Sondra. You're amazing.
Okay, now let's bring Jesse into the conversation, because I'm pretty sure while traveling that there is going to be a lot of stuff that you guys use while you travel.
You know, you would be surprised. Okay, so I've had plenty of time to think about this since I apologize. Like literally, as you called me out, my daughter Prana, who's like just figured out how the earbuds work, got so fascinated she literally pulled it out of my ear and somehow it got hung up. So sorry about that. So I'm thinking about this AI and this chat GBT and all this stuff is really blowing up right now. And it honestly feels relative to me when smartphones started blowing up. And I would say that I didn't reject the concept at first, but I held out because I realized I didn't really need it. Eventually I got one. I have a smartphone, today, and I love it for almost a decade now. And it's now like I see the advertising for ChatGPT and I hear about, the concepts of it. And it's like saving you time or being your kind of assistant. And my work as a yoga teacher, as a Qigong teacher and a guide for meditation and inner work is all about understanding one's own intelligence. And I find that very much so around the world right now, technology in general, whether it be the technology we're talking about or things like medicine, are really kind of treating problems rather than living solutions. And by that, I mean, we're definitely brainwashed to think that high productivity is positive or good. And so we're all looking for the next technology, the next thing that's going to help us become higher producers. But what about, and I think though that we all know, certain technologies of like the 70s and 80s before big businesses and growing a brand and stuff was so much a thing, people really prided themselves in the quality of their product rather than the quantity of their product. And don't get me wrong, I definitely love abundance. I appreciate quality. I definitely think that we can and should produce quantity. But the way that I see it is quality should reign first, quality of life rather than quantity. Because would you live 80 years miserably or 8 years in bliss? And I think most of us would choose the 8 years of bliss over 80 years of misery. And so when I see the advertisements for ChatGPT, and one that keeps coming up is, you can write either breakup letters or get back together letters from it. From the AI will put together a perfect makeup letter or a perfect breakup letter to your significant other, and they'll totally be taken by it. And I'm like, okay, that's a little creepy, first off. But second of all, even if it works, you're not developing the skill of emotional intelligence that you need in order to work with your partner in person. Like that might work if your entire relationship is over, the screen. But what about meeting in person? So driving around the world, which my partner and I have been doing for the last 3 years. We're in our 15th country now, South Africa, currently in Cape Town. We use the screen a lot, but we do our absolute best just to use it to connect with people in person because we prefer real life relationships. And though we can get results for people over online chats, we've noticed that there's slim to no difference between actually meeting with a person regularly online and meeting regularly with a person in person. It seems to be about the same results. Still, we prefer to actually connect with people one-on-one and develop our in-person people skills. And I think that I think that we all know that there's a potential kind of disease of social anxiety going about because our skills in being able to connect with one another and ourselves on a deeper basis is being overrun, and being treated with, antidepressant pills and anxiety pills and now AI stuff. So many things to like treat the problem rather than get to the source of things and deal with the solution, which is within understanding your own intelligence. And so I'm still like holding back from the chat GDP for now, because honestly, the way that I work is super fast and super reliable right now. I love being able to be challenged with more difficult hands-on situations as it relates to communicating. I am a writer too. That was actually one of the first things I wanted to be growing up. So I'm writing a book, and I want to learn about how people connect. And I wonder, sorry, I forgot her name, but the writer in the room who's having this issue too, it's like, yeah, maybe it can write you an essay style quote, but what about the emotional stuff? Like when I work with people, I have to connect with them on a deeper level. And it's almost always not just something that I have to analyze in order to understand how to communicate or how to work with a person. I also have to connect intuitively, because I'm first often meeting the person just through chat or just through a quick video conference call, a quick telephone. So I don't even have them present in front of me in order to go off of body language or tonality. I have to use my intuition. And that is a challenging skill, but such a valuable skill for human beings, because we have an intuitive mind, and it does require practice in order to implement and use. And I don't think that we're at the level of AI yet that it uses intuition, right? I mean, I haven't used it yet. Maybe we can go off of that. Does AI have intuition yet? That's what I would be most curious. If I was getting on right now, I'd be drilling my AI and seeing just really how smart or how feeling it is, or how much does it reflect off of, real humans. Anyways, that's my 3 cents.
No, it makes a lot of sense, and it actually comes back to a conversation that I actually had earlier, actually not too long ago, where for me it's not about having tech replace people. That to me is, because life is all about relationships, but if we can utilize tech to enhance or improve a space, then brilliant. Because us as entrepreneurs, and we all work in different spaces, and we have different services that we provide. But if we can utilize tech to enhance what we do, that's great. But if we're in a space where tech replaces what we do and we start to rely on it, then that is not functional. So similar there was this thing where writers were concerned that ChatGPT would be a replacement. It was the writers, and I know this because I had this conversation with Krista, and it was actually a brilliant conversation. Was it with Krista?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it was Krista.
I think so, yeah.
Where it was the writers that understood the tool and that they were the writers, and ChatGPT is just a tool. Like I am. Just a tool.
Thank you so much, JC, for your contribution. Please tell us more. Tell us your name and your business name, and just a little bit about what you do, just to end off your bit.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm getting used to the flow of things here. I'm Jesse Hart. This is my wife, Catherine Hart.
Hi.
We're currently here in Cape Town, South Africa, on a journey driving around the world called Unite the World Firsthand. We're becoming world citizens. And our business is Full Circle Phenomenal. We are yoga, qigong, and meditation teachers. We are also professional fire dancing performers and content creators.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We will be putting their link in the description as well, because they, on their YouTube channel, follow the journey. If you want to know more, follow the journey. Go to the YouTube link, click on the link, follow the journey. Lots of fun.
Hendrik, let's bring you into the conversation.
And thank you very much for that. An interesting topic tonight. So let me start by telling you a story. And as the soundtrack to that story, imagine Grace Jones's Slave to the Rhythm is playing in the background. Slave to the rhythm. I was a very dramatic child growing up. I used to dance to the records. I used to do magic. I played the piano. And I played with puppets quite a bit. And when I eventually went to drama school, I found an outlet for all of these creativities of mine, including puppetry. And I got very involved in my first and second year in puppet show productions. Now, if you do and we did rod puppets, so you had a middle stick with 2 arm sticks and you had to lift them up above your head. They were quite difficult to work. And you had to create a soundtrack for your puppet show, which of course you get actors and you record the voices of the characters. And then you take the tape. We used to work with magnetic tape in those days. You used to label it and you used to cut it up in pieces and you used to hang it with little paper with what do you call it, pegs on the line, and then you splice it all together with your music and a bit of tape, sticky tape, and you'd splice your whole soundtrack together, and on these big reel-to-reel things, eventually you'd have your soundtrack for your puppet play. You'd make a copy of that for in case your tape got swallowed up in the machine, so just for in case you had a copy. And then you use that. So it was this big process, a long, complicated manual process to create a puppet show soundtrack. If I were to do a puppet show today, I'd probably put a soundtrack together in less than a day. With the tools that we have these days, it has become so much easier. We were talking, I think everybody's in agreement that the AI things and the new technologies are all tools. I'm listening to a podcast and it's about great turning moments and cautionary tales. And one of the episodes deal with Gutenberg and inventing the printing press, and the guy who loaned him the money called Faust, of all people. And Gutenberg eventually went bankrupt, and Faust, had the patent for the printing press. But how that revolutionized society, thinking, expression, communication, and has brought us here today. And if we look throughout the history of humankind, there are several of those kind of propulsion moments where the society just quickly moves forward in a rapid speed from century to century, or even from year to year sometimes. And I think that's what's happening now. If you want to put it into a slightly new age way, you'd say the age of Aquarius is taking a little bit longer to unfold than just the 31st of December 1999, when we all thought the world was going to end because the clocks and the millennium bug. But yeah, the age of Aquarius is bringing all these changes, and it's also a change in how we relate to each other using technology. Jesse, I mean, 2-3 years ago, we would not have thought of sitting in a forum like this, using technology like this. And look at how quickly all these new technologies are sort of coming together at a critical moment in time. Now, if you remember Slave to the Rhythm, these days, unfortunately, Jesse, us who work online and who do online marketing, we've become slaves to another rhythm, and that's the algorithm. And we have to feed it all the time. We have to give it information. We have to give it content. It's a hungry, hungry monster. And therefore, we have to use these tools. We have to use these tools to create the content that we're doing in whichever form, whether it's a podcast or a written article or a post or whatever. But we have to keep on feeding this new monster, slaves we are to modern technology. They won't take over our jobs. They've just made us the slaves. So there you have it. Use it to your advantage. Use it cleverly, and use it to podcast. That's a great way to connect with people using technology. But again, being able to create a very human and intimate relationship with somebody just through the power of sound. And through technology these days, it's of course possible. Hendrik Baird Media, the podcast people, talk to us. We'll help you to start your podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hendrik. That was epic. Like, we just love you on this show. That was what a cool story as well, hey?
It's actually quite interesting to see how everybody is in different spaces using technology in different ways. You know what I mean? It's like...
And everyone has so much to say on the topic. Who knew?
Which is great.
Like, we ask you guys to talk about your childhood trauma and like zip, nothing. But this topic, technology, AI, robots, like, are they taking over the world? I love it. This is awesome. Guys, I want to invite you, if you're watching this or if you're on the show right now, I just want to tell you, everyone in the live chat is sharing all of their tech stacks and all of the tech tools that they use to grow their businesses. So this is a gold mine right now. Like, you have to get into the chat.
Do me a favor, Jesse, just your YouTube channel link, just drop it into this chat so that we can push it into the live chat on the YouTube side. Would be great, so that people can actually look at that and go, that's something I want to follow, that's a journey I want to see what they're doing, where in the world they're doing it, where they're traveling to next. People love these things. I'm following. You should follow too.
Mr. Levy, let's bring you in on the conversation. I can't wait to hear this.
Mr. Technology.
That's me. My second name. So, yeah, so I come out of that era that Lesetja spoke about. I was born in the industrial age. So watching evolution, as he said, and rightly said, I think we just need to go with it, because it is here today, and how we use it, I think, is important. So I think technology is fantastic, but if we're going to get consumed by it, it's going to be a problem. Okay, and when I say consumed by it, I've seen people families sitting in restaurants with their kids, and everybody's on their phones. That for me is that's where it's not technology that causes us to lose the human connection, it's ourselves. We're doing it, because then you're not using it for what it's worth. Technology can make us efficient. I thank God for technology, for Zoom or MS Teams, whatever you use, because I wouldn't have a business if I didn't have access to this. I coach globally. It's a blessing for me. Something that I must tell you stood out for me in COVID is how, and working with business, and especially I need to refer to leadership, how they became more connected in an environment or in an era where we were most disconnected. They started speaking to their people more in COVID than they did, unfortunately. I think what's happened is, through that, again, coming back to not losing the human connection, I think it made, and I'm generalizing, so please, not every leader out there, but generally, this is what I experienced, is they connected more with their people instead of just passing them by. And sometimes we do in our relationships, we take it for granted that our staff, we just walk by and we greet each other in the passage. Now they actually had to connect and go, how are you doing? Because they were working at home. How's it with your family? And the first time that these questions were really deeply asked, what I am seeing is that a lot of this is now carrying over when people have now started coming back to work. And I'm so happy to say this, there's a stronger focus on actually having a conversation with the people that they're leading. And those conversations, that didn't happen before. So that was awesome. I used to say, and I'm going to end off with this, I always used to say that, this bloody thing, okay, until I realized that it wasn't this bloody thing, it was this bloody thing. This bloody thing is good. Okay, this bloody thing, let it consume me. So we put in strict rules. And my wife and I have dinner together, no phones. We need to connect, and that's with Jason, that I don't think we must allow technology, and I don't think it will allow us to lose the human connection. A very important thing. There's nothing that substitutes this. In fact, I coach on Zoom virtually. My preference is in person, and on my bucket list is, I hope that these people I'm working with abroad, that one day I will meet them in person. And so far, we've managed to meet quite a few, and it's absolutely awesome. So I don't think it'll replace that. That's Stephen so Jesse, don't feel bad. I think it's the first time in 4 years I've got this right. That's Stephen from Dare to Be Coaching and Beyond in Cape Town.
Thank you so much, Mr. Levy. And what amazing insight. And we'll be meeting more of everybody this weekend as well, right, Peter?
Actually, yes, because this morning I got a bee in my bonnet and I was like, it's just not fair that some certain people are getting to see each other and we're not. It's just not right. So this coming Saturday, and I did send out the message and people have been responding. And Mr. Levy, I didn't send you a message because I was supposed to talk to you about it earlier and I forgot. My bad. So this coming Saturday, we'll be getting together just for a morning brunch. That's kind of the point, right? Community. We actually communicate. We actually talk to each other, actually meet each other. So there is no replacement for that.
Oh, and Nikki Marshall is live in the chat right now. She will be organizing the Dubai get together of that event. Okay. So the rest of you all around the world, you need to start having these local get togethers. Like we need to make the Explore ProTech Love Spread. Anyway, what an epic topic. Carolin, let's bring you in on the conversation. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about leveraging technology and automation for your business growth. Like, where are your thoughts at?
Well, I have many thoughts. One of them is that my whole lifestyle that I've had over the last few years of basically being a nomad and traveling around the world and continuing with my business wouldn't have been possible without technology. You know, I couldn't have had this lifestyle without technology, and I've enjoyed it very much. So I'm very grateful to have the technology. And at the same time, I do notice that I really, really have to work to have social time, like proper social, real human connection with people, because it's very easy to just end up on your screen all the time. And then I noticed how I kind of shut down, I noticed now I realize that is what it is. Before I didn't realize what it was, I couldn't pinpoint the cause of it. I'd be like, what is going on with me? Why am I so lethargic and tired all the time and not really feeling like doing anything? And now I know it's because I haven't had enough human connection. I have to go out and I have to connect with other humans, like in person, in real life, because you can't replace that, as we've already said, like you cannot replace that. And I think it's a really deep need that we have as humans. We are social animals. We need to be with other people. We need to have that in-person connection. And as great as it is to have these forums like this, and I'm so grateful for every one of these forums that we have, to get to know people, also people who are really far away from us and whatever, we still need to balance that out with the real human connection. And on the ChatGPT topic, I just want to say I'm also a writer, and I found it to be a good tool sometimes when I don't know how to start. Like sometimes I sit in front of a blank page and I don't know where to start. And then I let ChatGPT write something for me, and it just gives me a beginning, just something to edit and to work on. And I would never in my life publish anything that ChatGPT has written because the quality is not nearly good enough, in my opinion. Like I would never put my name on it. But I find it as a very good thing to start, to get started, to get over that writer's block that you sometimes have when you sit in front of an empty page and you're like, where do I start? Like, how do I even do this? And then you just have something. And as soon as you have something, it's easier. For me, it's easier because I can work with it. I can manipulate it. I can throw something out and put something else in. And it just like makes the whole process so much easier. So yeah, those are like just two things that I just thought of when we were talking about this topic. And yeah, with the phone also, yeah, that's the other thing. I just feel like just now I started a 30-day challenge today. Actually, I started a 30-day challenge for myself, not to use fiction for 30 days, no fiction, because it's so easy for me to get sucked into other people's stories and then not to be so present in my own life, And I feel like I spend like probably 18, 20 hours a week on my Kindle. And I spend like maybe 6-7 hours a week on Netflix. I'm like, no, this is so much time, it's so much time that is being consumed just by living in other people's stories. And I put myself on a 30-day challenge, and I said, I'm going to take this time back and do something more creative with it, rather than just immersing myself in other people's stories all the time. And I want to say there's generally nothing wrong with reading novels or watching movies. I just think it has to be like a conscious choice and has to be in balance with more creative and expressive things. All right. My name is Carolin Zeitler, and I do Lead with Love coaching and the Women Who Impact documentary series.
Oh, I love that. I think every now and then we have to challenge ourselves, especially if we notice something, because we know ourselves better than anybody else. If I think I've confused some psychiatrists.
To be fair, you also confuse my chat GPT. So.
I do confuse your chat GPT. But I think the point is we know ourselves really well, and we do actually need to take the time to look at ourselves and go, am I utilizing things in the right way? Am I utilizing it enough? Am I utilizing it too much? Do I need to change my viewpoint on how I use things? So I think when it comes to technology and the balance, and I think this is a really good story to show the balance, we use an application called BlueCap. It has a particular reason for why we use it, and we came across a space where we have a particular client that is very difficult to understand. It just talks in a way that you're still not quite sure what outcome he's actually looking for.
He's a brilliant mind.
Brilliant mind, but because of the brilliant mind, sometimes the way that it comes out in communication is very difficult to understand. And it needs to be translated. So we will actually record the session or the conversation. So if we're having the conversation on the phone, we'll put BlueCap on in the background. It will record what's being said backwards and forwards. It then takes that and turns that into a chat function and lists person, speaker number 1, number 2, number 3, or however many people are in the chat. We can now take that chat, and even today we took that chat and we were like, Stephen Levy, Linda Dent, help. We have this client. This was the conversation. What do you take from it? What were the highlighted points? Because there are opportunities in this space and maybe we're missing the opportunity. So now we can take something that is tech, but we can present it to a human element and go, what do you think? What is your thoughts on this? How can you get involved in this process? And then they came back to us and they were like, okay, well, you need more clarity on this point. You need a little bit more instructions on this point. This is the next step to take. Great stuff. And I think if we're utilizing technology in the right way, let's not lose the human element. For me, BlueCap has been a savior, because I can go back to a conversation and go, well, that's actually not what I said. And they go, yes, it is. And I can go, well, actually, no, it's not. And I can go back to the exact conversation and go, there it is in black and white. And I didn't have to type it out. It just recorded my call, or it recorded my session.
After each meeting, it makes you a little to-do list and the action points. It does a transcription. And then it writes you the follow-up email. It's absolutely amazing. And you can then copy that transcription into ChatGPT and work with it more. So write a social media post for that exact target audience, or, write another follow-up email in a week from now. It's really amazing. So bluecap.ai is a fantastic tool as well. And the co-founders are from Canada, and they're Explore ProTech members.
And they rock.
So we had to mention them. But seriously, it's amazing. Check it out for yourself.
Well, actually, it's not that we had to mention them. It's because we actually use their tech.
Yeah, we're addicted to their
We're
tech.
addicted to
We
their-
can't help it.
we
Sorry,
can't help
JC. We can't.
We can't help ourselves. We're addicts.
Anyway, guys, can we please give Carolin a huge applause? She's one of our latest Explore ProTech members, and today is her debut in the coffee shop show. Yay! Woohoo! Carolin! Your first time as an official member on the show. It's so nice to have you here. Guys,
I also happen to know that Carolin is also going to be heading out on her own journey, and I don't know when that's going to start. So Carolin, in this space, if you would just keep us in the loop as to when your journey starts, and definitely Jesse and Catherine, link up with Carolin, because Carolin's going to be experiencing something similar to you guys, but just in a different way for a different purpose.
yeah, she's driving on a bike. going to be amazing.
2 wheels.
We're all going to be jealous.
2 wheels with no kitchen. So guys, definitely link up. There's definitely something in common there. Have some fun. Grab a virtual coffee. I think you guys will, unless you have already. I'm not too sure.
I don't
No, we
think
haven't
so.
yet. No.
Not yet. Definitely have a cup of coffee with each other.
JC and Catherine's story started with a bike and a horse, I think.
With a bike and a horse.
Yeah. So that's something awesome coming up. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This was an absolutely epic conversation. It was delightful. It's just so amazing seeing all of you entrepreneurs from all over the world, hearing all of the different insights, the stories, just sharing what tools you're using, and we can compare and see, how we kind of get on and we can help each other, push each other forward. I'm so appreciative and grateful for all of you. You're amazing. You truly are. Thank you so much for spending this hour with us. And remember, everyone watching, everyone on Zoom, we do this every week, once a week. And there are some amazing, amazing people coming into this space, students from all around the world. Things are happening here. We absolutely adore you. And we'll keep creating this space for you every single week. Remember, you can find Carolin, JC, Steven, Sondra, Lesetja, Hendrik, Krista, all of the beautiful people that you saw on the screen today.
And me.
And Peter.
And me.
In the description. All you have to do is go down below, go to the description, click on the LinkedIn links, and you have all of their links right there. It's in the actual YouTube video. So go and connect with these humans. They are absolutely phenomenal. Each of them handpicked, each of them one of the most fun, authentic, caring entrepreneurs in the world.
Each of them on their own mission.
Yeah. So, see us again here next week. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all those lovely things. We adore you. And we'll see you next week. Until we see you again, may all your wildest entrepreneurial dreams come true.
Peace out.
Bye.